Hey guys, so this message here is simple. What is the job of a man? What is the duty of a man? What is the responsibility of a man? And it's really simple, but it's something that people have forgotten a lot of. I've noticed as a man living amongst other men, and that is a sense of duty. That is a sense of protecting the innocent, protecting those that are weaker than you. That is your duty. That is your responsibility, to look after the weak, to protect, to stand up in the face of a tyrant, to stand up in the face of evil, and to put a stop to it, or to die trying. That is a man's job. That is a man's job. Not this feminine 2024 garbage that they've given us. No, that's not a man's job. It's not a man's job to see how many women he could pick up. It's not a man's job to see how many girls he could sleep with. It's not a man's job to... No, none of that. It's not a man's main job to go work 6 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. It's not a man. No. Your job, your duty is to stand up for the weak, to protect the innocent, even in the face of evil. Especially in the face of evil. You see wrong, you see something that's not right, you put a stop to it. If it's bigger than you, then you get other men, y'all stand together. That's the message. That is the message. Because there is a lot of evil going on, and it seems like the only few men that I see really standing up are older men from previous generations. And it disgusts me because the young men in this generation aren't standing up for nothing at all. And the few that do want to, they don't even know where to apply that. They don't even know what to stand up for. They don't even know where to stand up. So I can't tell you what right or wrong is, but I could tell you that what's good for you is going to be good for others. You have to go within yourself and understand what makes you you, what makes you different, what makes you unique. What is it that makes you you? You have to know this. This is something a lot of people have forgotten. And that's because the common theme is to follow the crowd. That's the common theme. You ever realize that once you stop following the crowd, you start questioning yourself and your sanity and all types of things like, am I right? Am I this and the other? Because you're not following the crowd, because you've been brainwashed into thinking not at all, but to give up your thinking to become like the crowd. That's a reality. And the crowd's not going anywhere good. It's not. They want men to shut up. They want men to stop being men. That's why they gave us the feminine man. That's why they gave us the feminine man. They want you to be quiet. They want you to shut up. They want you to do your job and just be a back at the end of the day. That's not a man's duty. No, I'm not saying throw that out the window, though. I'm not saying don't go to work to help your family. I'm not saying none of that. What I am saying, though, is if all your job, all your life focus is going to work, providing for your family, this, that, and the other, you've missed the mark. You have missed the mark. Stand up for the weak. Stand up for those that are innocent. Stand up for those that are being taken advantage of. Men, and some women learn this too, but it's particular for men. A lot of men usually have to learn this in their childhood through bullies. I had to learn it. I grew up fighting bullies. But it taught me to stand up in the face of evil. A lot of guys in my time, though, in my school, when I was a kid, they were scared of bullies. They didn't like bullies. They didn't want to stand up to none of that, and I never was that type. I was scared of bullies, don't get me wrong. But there was something inside of me that was bigger than that fear. And I grew up fighting bullies. But that's something that men, it's important to learn. Now, I understand that a lot of people, they don't want their kids getting into fights. And that would be okay if the world wasn't the way it was. A man's duty is to fight. I'm not saying that we're supposed to go out here and start fights. We're supposed to go look for a fight. No, you fight against wrong. You don't go out here trying to fight people. There are certain people that they need to be put, you got to put them to a stop. You got to put their evil to a stop. That's a man's job, 100%. You see a man beating on a woman, and the woman's clearly in the right, and you know what I'm saying, because there are certain cases where you got women out here trying to be men, trying to put themselves in a man's position. That's a little bit different. I'm talking about, let's say you got a woman who's, you see a couple at dinner and the woman's just trying to calm her husband down or calm her boyfriend down, whatever. She's trying to, and all of a sudden he gets mad at her, backhands her, and then start, beating on her. Well, what are you going to do as a man? What are you going to do as a man? And also, you need to understand what makes you you so that you can understand why you even feel that way. Because if you don't understand what makes you you and why you feel that way, you're going to fall for the trap of, well, everybody else would stop this at this time, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop this. I'm not going to use my brain to figure anything out. No. Because if you don't use your brain, you're going to try to put a stop to everything that you that society views as wrong or whatever. And that's not always a good thing. Because like I said, you do have some women, and this me, I'm not saying that a man should put his hands on a woman. But I'm also not saying that a woman should put herself in a man's position. Take that for what you will. But if you don't have any logic, you don't have any understanding within yourself to be able to put two and two together, then you're just gonna, you're not gonna be a force for positivity. You're just gonna be a force, and that's directed in one particular way because you lack common sense. I hope that makes sense. It should. But this is the thing. This is the message. If you're a man, or you're growing up to be a man, this is what they won't tell you. This is what is not the common theme anymore. And this is what society is suffering because men aren't being men. And I'm not blaming it 100% on men, but I'm putting the blame where the blame needs to be. And hey, that blame had to go on me at first too. I had to come to some understandings. I had to come to some, indeed, my mindset had to be changed. I had to look at things differently, and I had to spit out my pride thinking I understood everything, and I'm the man, and just said, no, ain't no such thing. Ain't no such thing. I had to spit out pride. And that's a big issue that people have, is pride. And I know this because I had it. I had it, yo. I mean, this ain't nothing easy to overcome. And that's why I think man needs God, but that's a decision that each and every one of you have to make. And my job isn't to convert anybody into a belief system. My job is to help y'all so that we can make this world a better place. So, men, be men. Know your place. And your place is in being a protector. It is in standing up against evil. That is your place. And if you are so scared to lose your job or to offend somebody or to stand out, if you're so afraid of that, you're a coward. You're a coward. Because I'm going to tell you something about other guys that do stand up in the face of evil. I'm going to tell you about other guys that they have a no-nonsense policy when it comes down to wrong. Some of us, if not all of us, feel the same fear that you feel. I know I do. I feel the same fear that you feel. I feel the fear of defeat. I feel the fear of being wrong. I feel the fear of whatever, not being accepted, losing my job, this, that, and the other. I feel all of those fears. But the difference between a guy like me and a guy like the other guys that I gave you an example of is a guy like me is going to move past that fear in order to do what's right regardless. Regardless. It might take some convincing. It might take about 5-10 minutes of pacing back and forth or whatever. But at the end of that, the job is going to get done. Fear will be pushed past. So if you are the type of man that lets fear run you, you are a coward. Good news is you don't have to be. Good news is you have a choice. Good news is that a lot of cowardice is a learned behavior. That's what they're trying to create in men are cowards that'll stand down, be quiet, don't speak up against evil, don't stand out, don't do none of that. Let the system raise your children. Let the system raise your young men. Let us show we know what's best. Yeah, no, y'all don't. And y'all have shown us this. So men be men. That's the message. Thank you.